for the introduction. Yeah, you didn't add one thing that I'm so passionate about, praise. I'm one of the praise team, a member and leader in Blessed Hope. And I want to give it up for the praise team at Praise Outreach. Please give them a round of applause. Oh, you guys, you've really blessed me. Sorry if I'm looking through my glasses. The glasses is for me to read. So if I'm looking through, it's just because for me to see you guys, I need to look through my glasses. Okay. All right. So let's have a word of prayer before we go into today's ministration. Father, Lord, open our eyes that we may behold wondrous things out of your word today. Lord, I pray that someone here will be liberated with the word we're going to hear today. In Jesus' mighty name I've prayed. Amen, 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 amen. So, what are we looking at today? Purpose-driven marriage. Purpose-driven marriage, okay. Can I have my slides up, please? So, I'm going to give you an outline of what we're going to look at. We haven't got much time. It's like I've crammed so many things into today's presentation. I want you to get as much value from what we're going to do today as much as possible. So we're going to touch briefly on what is purpose. We're going to look at how not to have a purpose-driven marriage, things you should avoid, some of the things, because I can't put everything into the 40 minutes I've got. And then we're going to look at things you need to do right, tips on how to have a purpose-driven marriage. And I am going to be vulnerable with you guys today. I'm going to tell you part of my own personal experience, what I've learned from before and now. You understand what I mean very soon. So that's what we're going to look at in the next few minutes. Okay, yes. So, what is purpose? Can we move to, that's the outline. So, what's purpose? I'm just going to go through that quickly. Can we go to slide 4? Purpose is an abiding intention to achieve a long-term goal that is both personal, meaningful, and makes a positive impact and mark on the world. It emerges from your unique strength and interests. Purpose generates goals for future and guide current actions. Purpose facilitates your connection to someone or something outside of yourself. Purpose will guide your life's decision. It will influence your behavior. It will shape your goal, and it will offer a sense of direction and create meaning to your life. So from all these things I've said about purpose, if you have not identified your purpose and you get into marriage, it's going to be very difficult for you, because if you have not identified your purpose and align your purpose with that of the person you want to marry, it's going to be a difficult and challenging situation for you. So I want to ask you a question. Have you been able to identify your purpose? From what we said, purpose is something that you are interested in, something that is a unique strength to you, something that excites you. Imagine if you're working in your purpose, something that interests you, something that's maybe a problem that you've seen and that you want to resolve. I recall about 9 years ago, 2015, when the single ministry was birthed. I was in a marriage that was very emotionally abusive, and God took me out of that situation. And as soon as I was delivered from that, I had this yearning, I had this craving in my heart that I don't want anyone else to go through what I went through. And it was a very, very deep burning desire in my heart. And you know what? I was restless about it. I started doing research. I started, reading books, following other, mentors, people that are doing relationship coaches here and there. And God made me restless until we started the Before I Do Singles Ministry. So what are you restless about? What's the one thing that you are interested in, that excites you, that when you do, you are not just doing it for yourself, but you are impacting the world. You are impacting someone else. You're bringing value. I recall when my pastor, Pastor Ayo, talks about, his journey to become a minister as well. For years, he ran away from that calling. But God had actually placed that calling on him right from childhood. He said when he was a young boy, he would lead out in Bible study, maybe from the age of 13, 14, in his local church. Even when he was in uni, they had this fellowship. They started this vibrant fellowship. He was very active in it. And the leaders then were saying, God has called you into the ministry. Pastor Ojewole told him, you've been called into the ministry. He will laugh. He ran away from it for years, but eventually God brought him back to it. So what is that thing that people have seen as your strength? What is that thing that you're passionate about? As a single, take your time to, identify that thing that is your calling, that it's a strength that you are excited about, that you can add value to people, and then work in it even before you marry. And as soon as you find that thing, it will be easier for you to make sure that you align your purpose with that of the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. So, as a single, have you identified your purpose? What are you doing to ensure your purpose, that you pursue your purpose and maximize your potential, your strength, and your interest? Like I said, if you are doing something that excites you, and you're making money from it, or, it's giving you value, it's giving other value, it's like you're not doing a day's job again in your life, but you're working and you're getting value from it. You're working and you're enjoying that particular thing. Some people, singles, they put their life on hold, waiting until they get married before they do things. That shouldn't be you. Live life now. Live life to the fullest. Let the person, if it's a guy that wants to find you, let him find you in your purpose. If it's a guy looking for a girl, find the lady in the purpose, Let that person find you doing something meaningful. Just like the message we heard from Pastor Buki today. Discover that thing and improve yourself even while you're waiting. Don't just let your life be on those. Some people, when I get married, that's when I will travel. When I get married, that's when I'll do this. Why not do it now? Why not enjoy yourself? Why not do things that will excite you now? Things that will add value to yourself, add value to people around you, okay? Don't waste your single years. Use it valuably, okay? And if you have not discovered your purpose, there are books out there you can read. There's one that was really, really helpful to me, Purpose-Driven Life. I don't know if anybody has read that book, by Rick Warren. Look for a book that will help you to identify and work in your purpose. So now, because we're looking at relationship, we're looking at, how to build a purpose-driven marriage, I'm going to dive into things you should avoid. Once you've discovered your purpose and you want to align with someone that you want to spend your life with, I'm going to talk on things that you should avoid in order for you to, have a purpose-driven marriage. And like I said, I'm going to be vulnerable with you and use some of my own experience. Number one, don't rush into a marriage. Don't rush into marriage. A lot of people rush into marriage because of peer pressure, family pressure, even some financial pressure make people to rush into marriage. Sometimes it's the age. When you're a certain age, you have this inclination that I must get married at 25 for ladies. Before I reach 30, I must be married. All my friends are getting married. It must be my own turn. I need to get married. Don't do it. Don't rush into marriage. Take your time to study the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. Amos 3:3 says, can two work together except they agree? It's not possible. Imagine if you're going south and the person you're dating is going north. There's no way you two will get to the same destination. It's not possible because you are going in two different directions. Take your time to study whoever you plan to spend the rest of your life with. Sometimes it depends on the circumstances at which you met each other. If it's someone you grew up with, maybe in a local church, someone that you've known all your life, then don't waste time. Don't waste time saying you're dating for 5-6 years. No. But if it's someone that you're just meeting for the first time, at least a year, 2 years, get to know that person. Get to know their family. Get to know, their friends. Get to know people that know them, see them in their element, see them angry, see them sad. Get to know if this person's got something tangible in their hand. Spend time, quality time to know this person. Would this person support my ministry? Would this person help me? I recalled when my husband was, pursuing me and we were dating, one of the first things I told him is, look, I've got this ministry, and will you support me in it? You understand? And he gave me 100% that he's going to support me in it. I can't marry somebody that will not allow me to continue with this singles ministry. Because I recall then in my local church, they were like, oh, so once you get married now, you're going to leave the singles ministry. I said, no, that's when it's even going to be more. I'm still going to put more time into the ministry. So take your time to study the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. Number 3, do not hide information about yourself from the person you tend to spend the rest of it. Don't hide information. You understand? A lot of singles, they do that. You go into the relationship or you go into the marriage in pretense. And then when you get married, what happens? You start unfolding, removing soft layers like an onion. You start unfolding. That is so bad. That is so bad. That is so bad. If you're dating someone now and you cannot be vulnerable with that person, that means that person is not for you. That means that person is not for you. And when you're volunteering information, you do it in stages. It's not that you meet somebody today and the first thing is, excuse me, sir, yesterday I killed 5 people. I buried it at the back of my house. No. You understand? You have to, as the person is unfolding, you are unfolding. The more the person is showing that they are trustworthy, then you devolve your information. You understand? A lot of people hide so many things, like your health condition. You can't hide that from the person you're going to spend your life with. Your financial condition, you can't hide that. There are some deep salient things you need to speak and talk to the person you want to date. And if, like I said, you can't be 100% vulnerable with the person you want to spend your life with, there's no way your purpose will work together. There's no way you can pursue, that dream, that goal that you have together. So do not do that. Another thing is, do not ignore red flags. This one is very, very deep. This one, we can spend a whole session or several sessions talking about this. But I'm going to drop it here. Do not ignore red flags when you are dating, okay? Like, I spoke to one of my friends and, I was just asking her, so the husband is physically abusive. They are separated now. I think, they're separated now. Not yet divorced, but separated. And I asked a very vital question. Did you see that sign while you were dating him? Because there's no way, a chameleon cannot hide this, you will see some telltale sign that this person has this or that in their character. And she said yes, that he hit her once, that she was shocked. She ended the relationship, but the guy came back begging. The guy came back with his pastor begging her this and that, and then she went into the relationship. Then I asked her. He said, the guy said, I've stopped. I'm not going to continue. That's not me. That it was the work of the devil, this and that. But I asked her, so how long into the marriage did the abuse start again? She said, immediately after they got married, the abuse continued. So what am I saying? What are the red flags you are seeing with the person you're dating? Is it a non-negotiable? Is it something that it's a no-no? Please stop. A broken engagement is always better than a broken marriage. There are some things that can be worked on. You understand? There are some things that can be worked on if they are willing to work and they're willing to go for therapy, things like that. Then you can work on it. But there are some things, they are non-negotiable. So please do not ignore red flags. Then, this one too is very vital. Do not enter into a contract of marriage with someone that is not ready to be in it for the long term. Marriage is a long-term event. It's not, some people, they go into it with one foot in, another foot out. And they make that clear from you right from when you're dating. Okay? I recall that my ex, when there's something, before you know it, I'm not doing again. We are still cutting. You understand? Maybe something happened. He's upset. He's not doing it again. That was a red flag. It was a big red flag, but I didn't pick it up. You understand? So someone that is already giving you an hint that, oh, I'm not in it for the long haul. I'm not in it for if anything happened, I'm out. When you're taking your vows, when they're taking the marriage, they say, but for better, for worse. For richer, for poorer. In sickness and in health. Till death do you part. A lot of people, they are only thinking for the better. They are thinking of the health. They are thinking of the wealth. But life happens. The sickness can come. The financial challenges can come. So how do you navigate those periods? Has that person shown a form of commitment in other areas of their life while you are dating to make you know that this person, when you get together, when things happen, they'll be in it for the long term? So those are some of the things you should not do. So I'm not going to dwell more, like I said, too much on the don'ts. Let's look at some of the things you need to do. Some of them is things that you already know, but it's always good to refresh your memory. Always good. Like now, I bless the Lord. I've got a wonderful husband that is so amazing. He treats me so special. I bless the Lord for my husband. You understand? But even at that, I still learn. I'm learning and unlearning. Things that I think, okay, I need to improve on, I learn. Things I think I'm doing better, I learn to do it more. You understand? So we keep learning every day. So number one, you need God as the foundation of your relationship. God matters in your relationship. And I always tell people, you want to marry someone that knows God. Do you yourself, do you know God? Do you have a solid relationship with God yourself? When they train bankers how to identify a fake note, they study the real note. So they know that this is the original. They know what the original looks like. They know what the original feels like. They know all the features of the original. So if yourself, you don't know the original, if you are not in a relationship with God, if you don't have that foundation with Him, trust me, you will not know when a fake comes your way. Because you yourself, you are fake. So pretender plus pretender, two of you just jam together, and that's it. And later when you have issues, you now go to all the mountains to pray. But the foundation has been faulty. So how do you build your foundation? Number one, build yours. So that when you now come in contact with someone that fears God, you'll be able to identify such a person. Because in church, there are fake people. There are churchgoers that don't know God. They are religious people. They are religious, but they don't know God. So you need to know God for yourself in order to be able to identify one in another person. When we look at Ephesians 5:21, is a very, very popular Bible verse. This is one Bible verse I would like us all to read together. I'll read it. You can read with me. I want us to project it. Okay. Slide 8. I think it should be on there. Ephesians 5 from 22. And we have it projected so that we can read together. Okay, we can start from, let's start from the next one. Yes, okay, thank you. Let's read together. Wives, submit yourself to your own husband as you do to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church, his body, of which he is the Savior. Now, as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit to their own husband in everything. Husbands, love your wife, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, to make her holy, cleansing her by the washing with water through the word, and to present her to himself as a radiant church without stain or wrinkle or any blemish, but holy and blameless. In this same way, husbands ought to love their wife as to their own body. He who loves his wife loves his body. This commandment, is it easy to keep without having God as your foundation? It's not. And the one I said we should skip before, it says submit one to another. It's not easy to submit or to do this, to love someone like Christ loved the church and gave himself up to him without having a relationship with God himself. And for a woman to submit, truly submit, without God, it's not easy to submit to your own husband. For you to have a purpose-driven marriage, you must be prepared to be a servant lover. Marriage is about service. You must be willing to make sacrifices for your partner. The passage says in Ephesians 5:21, it starts by saying that submit yourself one to another in the fear of the Lord. So without the fear of the Lord, it's impossible for you to submit, and it's impossible for you to love the way Christ wants us to love one another. Now, this next thing that you must do, like I've been saying before, choosing your partner wisely. This is another area we can go on for another hour talking about this. We've talked about the fact that having God factor is a non-negotiable. Another thing is your journey. You can have a good journey, but if you align yourself with the wrong person, that can derail your journey for years. Except with the grace of God, you can go back on the track, on the track you are meant to go to. So, choosing your partner wisely is very, very key. Do they have integrity? The person you're dating, the person you're speaking to, do they have integrity? Are they honorable? Are they reliable? Are they upright? Are they trustworthy? You know? For example, is this person faithful in little things? Will this person be faithful in marriage? Is this person able to stand the test of time with you? You need to. Are they the type that can be committed? In what they are doing right now, are they committed? Will they be committed in a lifelong relationship as a marriage? Number 2, do they have accountability partner? A man or a woman that doesn't have accountability partners is a disaster waiting to happen. Because in marriage, things will happen. If your partner, nobody can speak to them. They are not accountable to God. They don't have an authority on earth that they are accountable to. That's a disaster waiting to happen. Because life will happen to you. Life will surely happen to you. I recall myself and my husband, we had an issue recently. I was really, really livid and angry. But he knows there are some people that once they talk to me, I have no choice but to listen. You understand? My pastor, Pastor Ayo, is one. I call him my adopted father, Eda Burishade, is one. And he went to Eda Burishade. No, I cannot say no to Eda Burishade. And he spoke to us, both of us together, and we were able to resolve that issue. So do you have somebody that you can call when a knot is getting loose, in the head of your partner? Do you have someone you can talk to, that they will talk to them, that they will listen? Everybody needs such people in their life. We know we all have God, but people that we can see that authority on earth that they can listen to is very, very key. Is your partner industrious or are they lazy? Somebody, if you are in school and the person you are dating is already bunking class, you understand? That person will bunk work. He will not work. He will not be committed to work. You understand? So, is that person industrious? We know that the country is hard, but what are they finding to do with their hand at the moment? Why they are waiting for that big break? What are they doing? Pastor told us today, what are they investing in? What are they doing? How are they developing themselves? Even if they've not had that their big break, how are they currently developing themselves? Did they find work for their hand to do? Both male and female. Nobody is looking for a doormat wife now. Everybody wants somebody that is industrious. So is your partner industrious? Are you industrious? Can they support you in your purpose? Can they, help you out in your purpose? Are they speaking positively into your life? Or is it somebody that you share your dream with and all they do is negative? You can't achieve that. That is too big. You can't make it. Or you share your dream with your partner and they say, oh, I know you can make it. I know you can do it. I know you can achieve it. I just finished a program, a master's recently, and I went to my husband. I said, my dear, he knows I like book anyway. I said, my dear, I want to go back to school. I need your support too. He looked at me and said, okay. It won't be that easy, but we can do it. That's the kind of person you need. You understand? And it was not easy, but because we were together, because of that support, because of that push, I was able to achieve that dream of mine, of going back to school. So, is your partner industrious? Or are they lazy? Are they compassionate? Do they have empathy? Some people, you're dating someone, they only have empathy for you. But for people around them, they don't have empathy. That is a red flag. Because one day it's going to get to your turn. You are in a gathering, they treat people like dirt. But they tend to want to treat you well. Trust me, when you get home, it's going to be worse. People say there's a proverb in Yoruba that says, "Efiniwa," that your character is like a smoke. You can't cover it for too long. When you cover smoke, it will find a way of filtering out. So their true color will definitely show. So how do your partner or the person you're talking to, how do they treat their family members? How do they treat their friends? How do they treat their parents, their siblings? Or even when you go to a restaurant, how do they treat the waiter? That's a reflection of their true character. Is this person a peace lover or a troublemaker? Or you yourself, are you a peace lover or a troublemaker? Sometimes I can be a troublemaker. Let me be vulnerable with you guys. You understand? But, good trouble, not bad trouble. Yeah, are you a peace lover? Is your partner a peace lover? Some people, even when there's a challenge, how do you resolve that challenge? That's the most important thing. Some people, they like to keep malice. While you're keeping malice, you're wasting valuable time that you are meant to be enjoying yourself. You are meant to be spending with one another. You're wasting valuable time. When there's an issue, try to resolve it amicably. At the time, now that you're dating, how do you resolve your conflict? It's very, very vital. Because now that you are not even in the same space, imagine now when you get married and you're in the same space, there will be friction. You have good time, but there's no how you guys will not, step on each other's toes as a couple. So how do you resolve conflict? It's very, very, very important in your relationship. And also, you need to discover during courtship if you guys are, you're like-minded or on different aspects, like parenting, Are you like-minded on your finances? You understand? I love to see my money in the bank. My husband is the type that all the money wants to invest in business. So there can be friction in that area, but we balance each other out. You understand? So how are you with your finances? Do you discuss that? Have you discussed that in your dating? What do you do about your finances? What are your plans, about parenting children? What's your plan? Do you want to have 5 children and your partner wants just 1 child? You need to discuss that. Then communication. Sometimes when you are single, you think when you get married, all you'll be doing is lovey-dovey, you'll be having sex, you'll be doing this. Please ask the married people here. How often they have sex? Some people even have to schedule it for it to happen. Most of the things you'll be doing is communication. So how do you communicate? That's the intimacy. That's part, not just, communication is not just the intimacy, but it's one major part of your intimacy with your partner. So do you communicate well with the person you're dating? How do you relate with each other? How do you talk? How do you build your home? That's very key. So another thing is, when you're dating, what's the intention of your dating? Some people, they're just dating for the sake of dating. And most time, ladies get this wrong. A guy has told you that he just wants to date you. And in your mind, you are imagining marriage. You are already planning your wedding. You're already building a house. The guy has not told you that that's his intention. If a guy is dating you and you have marriage in mind, he doesn't have it. After a while, ask him, what are we doing? Don't wait. And sometimes they can date, a guy can date a lady for 5 years, leave that lady, and find the one he wants to marry in 3 months' time or 6 months, is married to that one. So make sure you know the intention. Ensure that your intention and your purpose align together when you're dating someone. Don't just date for the sake of dating. Okay? And what is your purpose in life? Like I said, have you discovered your purpose? Is your partner aware of your purpose? Is your purpose aligned together? And while you're dating, do you guys have fun together? When I say fun, not the worldly fun. I think, can you crack jokes? Do you laugh, or you're always serious? Is it all the time when you come together, you do Bible study? You know? Some people cannot laugh. Even when you crack a joke, they cannot laugh at the joke. That house will be so boring. You understand? You must be able to laugh at each other's jokes. You must be able to take a joke, you know? When your partner says something, you know, you should be able to have that kind of, do you go out together, enjoy each other's company? So it's not all the time that you're all serious. Me, I can't even live with that kind of person because I'm very playful at heart, always playful. And although my husband, he can be serious, but he enjoys some jokes, I'll just go and whine his button, you know, just to create some fun. And he will respond, which is okay. But for him, he can have that serious face around the house. I'm like, did anybody die here today? You know, and then he will throw the banter back, and that will start something, you know, fun, and we'll laugh. So can you have fun? Can you relate well with the person you're dating? It's very, very important. Okay? And another thing is, are you willing to learn and unlearn things? Some of the things you are doing now that are wrong, are you willing to unlearn that? Are you willing to learn new things? Every time we are evolving, we're growing. You know, the lady that you married, if you marry someone, especially we ladies, we evolve a lot. We change a lot. You need to unlearn your partner. Sometimes, you know, like if you want to be a doctor, look at what Pastor was telling us. It took that guy 8 years to become a medical doctor. You're going into a relationship. What have you done? What have you learned? What are you willing to let go of that you know you're not doing right? That you can change to make sure to enhance your relationship. You know, your partner should be your master's degree. You must study your partner. You must study them to know them, discover them, and be able to, you know, relate with them the way that will make your marriage work. I'm just trying to run through some of this so that we have time for our questions and panel time. Another thing is forgive in advance. You must learn to forgive in advance your partner, because definitely your partner will hurt you. You will hurt your partner. We are not perfect. Nobody is perfect. Okay? Are you willing to forgive in advance whatever your partner has done to hurt you? The truth is that when you love deeply, you will hurt deeply as well. But because of the fact that you love that person, be willing to forgive quickly and in advance and move on. Okay? And now I'm just going to give you some tips on lessons I learned from doing marriage before and doing it now. Okay? I'm going to give you some tips on that. One thing I learned, and one thing is that I try not to put blame on my ex because I'm not perfect. I want to look at things that I feel that I did wrong, that I could have done better, not what he did wrong. You understand? Okay? Number one is, like I said, the choice of a life partner. I feel that I wasn't matured enough when I went to marry the first time. All my friends were getting married, and I felt it was the right time to get married. I married at, my first marriage at the age of 28, which technically you say, oh, it's a right age to marry, but deep down, I knew I wasn't matured enough. But everybody was doing it. It was the right time. The guy is there, I'm there. So what are we waiting for? We go marry. So the fact that you're a certain age doesn't mean you're matured enough to get married. That's what I'm driving at. Please, equip yourself in different ways. You have done I want you to applaud yourself for being here today. It's part of equipping yourself, Applaud yourself, please. Honestly, you're taking the right step. Equip yourself. Grow in different areas. Learn. Read books. Study about marriage. Because you don't just go into it blindly and just expect that a miracle will happen and things will just flow. No, you need to learn. So that was one of the first things. A lesson I've learned. Another lesson is you need good examples. I want to thank God that I've got good examples from my parents, and my mom is late now, but for over 60 years that my parents were together, they had a blissful relationship. Even when they are quarreling, we children, we know they are quarreling, but you wouldn't see. They will lock themselves in their room and deal with the quarrel. You understand? And they are always very quick to say, I'm sorry. My dad will say, my dad is so humble. He's not too proud to tell his wife he's sorry. And mom too, when she realized that she's overstepped her boundary, because we children, we used to jealous our mom. My dad dotes on her so much, But when mom realizes that she's overstepped her boundary, she'll say she's sorry to her husband. And they continue their relationship. I learned a lot from my parents' relationship. But I want to tell you that even if your parents' relationship is not one to emulate, please look for role models. Look for other parents that you can emulate. Look for people that you see their marriage thriving, that you can learn from them. Okay? You need role models to help you in your marriage. Yeah? And then your mindset. Your mindset. The mindset at which you go into marriage is very, very key. Like I was saying, my ex, his mindset is like, if anything happens, there's a way out. But for me, because of what I've seen from my parents' relationship, I was like, this one is a do or die until my enemy wanted to die inside. You understand? But I thank God for the opportunity. But right now, with my husband, it's like, we know that we don't have any window or a door or something that we're going to go through if there's a problem. We're going to resolve it, whichever way we have to resolve it. So what's your mindset in going into marriage? I recall one thing he told me when we were dating. He said, please, I don't like trouble. I want a peaceful home. I said, that's what me too I'm looking for now. Our 2 and 4 has caught each other. You understand? I said, please, I don't want trouble. I just want peace. And I'm like, oh, that's what I'm also looking for. So what's your mindset when you are going into your relationship? What's the mindset in going into your marriage? You should not have the D word. The D word should not even cross your mind at all. You understand? Don't even have that D word or L word, I'm leaving. D word, I mean divorce, or L, I'm leaving. It shouldn't even be in your dictionary. You understand? But like I said, if there is abuse, please leave first. As in, leave, be able to leave before you can marry. Somebody that is alive that can do marriage. Don't stay in an abusive relationship, please. Don't. Can be emotional, physical, whatever form of abuse. Don't stay in an abusive relationship. And be quick and willing to admit when you're wrong. I'm going to give you another instance from my own personal experience. My ex can keep malice, I wasn't used to that, but, when, I think it's another Yoruba proverb that says, when soap stays long on leaf or something, that the leaf too will become soap. So I discovered, I later realized, I didn't know, but I'd learned that habit of also keeping malice from being in that relationship for we were married for 11 years, before we got divorced. We were separated for 2, then got divorced after that. Anyway, so when I now got married to my amazing husband, just like maybe a month or 2 into our marriage, something happened. And we talked about it, but I was still upset. So I just turned my back. I was ready to keep malice. And he was like, Titilayo, what? I said, nothing. He said, what? I said, nothing. He said, no, there's something. I did not say anything. He said, is it because of what we talked about? I did not say anything. He said, but we've talked about it. So why are you still having an attitude? It's finished. We talked about it. Let's move on. And the Holy Spirit just dropped it in my mind that something you don't want is like you want to bring it into your marriage. And I quickly rebuked myself. And, I said sorry again. Even though we've said I'm sorry, but in my mind, I was still keeping it. I said sorry again, and that was the end of it. So since that day, we have an issue. We will finish it there. We can argue, shout, or whatever. But that same day, it ends. And we move on. Do you understand? So be willing to forgive quickly. Be willing, number one, to admit that you're wrong. And also forgive quickly and move on. Don't waste valuable time. Okay? And I think that's me coming to an end. So in conclusion, there are several things, to talk about in relation to having a purpose during marriage. Like I said, some of the areas we've looked at today can be expanded further. So this is just, whetting your appetite on things you need to learn. Okay? Some of these key things, for me, key takeaway for you today. Identify your purpose. Ensure that the person you're dating also know their purpose, and that your purpose, align together. Both of you, your purpose can align together. Prayerfully, number 2, prayerfully, with the help of God, choose the person that will help you, and you will help him or her in achieving your purpose in life. Number 3, forgive in advance. Forgive in advance. Don't wait valuable time. Be intentional about getting role models that will show you the rope, that will show you, how to make it work in your relationship. Be willing to have mentors and accountability partners, okay? I recall that there was a time, that I was very sad and miserable about my past. But God turned it around for good. I want to bless the Lord today because He's made it possible for me to be in a peaceful, happy marriage. And I wish the same for you. I wish the same for every single here today. You do not have to experience a bad relationship before you have a good one. That's why I'm so passionate about this ministry. I don't want anyone to experience a bad relationship before you experience a good one. There are still good people out there. Are you a good person yourself? If not, work on yourself. Work on yourself. And as you are working on yourself and working in purpose, the person that God had assigned to you will find you, or you'll be found by that person in the mighty name of Jesus. I implore you that continue to work on yourself. Do not go through a bad experience before you get it right. You can learn from other people's experiences and get it right the first time around, rather than make sure that you lay the right foundation and build on it. Get books, attend seminars, and the Lord himself will perfect all that concerns you in Jesus' mighty name. God bless you.